last Monday, the Biden administration held a press conference and they released an executive order touting biomanufacturing. And they really want to encourage the manufacturing of things made from molecules, or excuse me, microbes, biological parts, and they're looking to get that encouraged here in the country. And they also made a comment on cell cultured meat. Lia Biondo, we have you with us here now.
We do, yes, thank you.
So let's talk about what was the comment the president made that had your audience get a little concerned.
Yeah, so there was a comment that kind of snuck under the radar last week. On Monday, the president issued an executive order promoting biotechnology. This is a good thing, right? We feed our livestock genetically modified crops. We use bio-manufactured vaccines. It's in the stating that the Secretary of Agriculture report on how to advance holding alternative food sources. So you can see the play on words there. It didn't come out explicitly and say cell cultured proteins or foods produced using cell cultured technology, but they used this phrase, cultivating alternative proteins or alternative food sources. And that's what gave us pause. And so when we went and checked some of the reporters' logs, we learned that, yes, the White House does mean cell-cultured proteins in this executive order. And we learned that from a senior White House official who said point blank, yes, we would like to encourage the advancement of cell-cultured foods.
And cell cultured meat, obviously, we're not quite there yet, Lia, in terms of having it available to the market, but it does appear to be coming. And what are the concerns that U.S. Cattlemen Association members have when you see the USDA look to fund this kind of research?
Yeah, you're right. So there is no cell-cultured foods currently available in retail stores, at least in the U.S. In other countries, they've found ways to offer samples and taste tests, but in the U.S. here, we are a little whiles away from seeing those products in the retail marketplace. You might see the Beyond Burger, the Impossible Burger. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about that Petri dish protein, the cells that are in the lab, marinating in a growth hormone serum, and then stripped off of that protein or that Petri dish and offered to consumers for public consumption. And so we don't see that available yet. So the concern here is just to make sure that we've established a safe regulatory framework and that these products can't call themselves meat or beef.
All right. And Lia, I understand U.S. Cattlemen's Association will be having their annual meeting a little bit later this fall. I assume this is a topic that will be under discussion there at the conference.
Of course, yes. Truth in labeling is always a hot topic at the U.S. Cattlemen's Association. If that's something that's important to you, please do come join us. We're at uscattlemen.org. You can find all the details there.
And Lia, before we let you go, though, when is that conference and what else will be on the agenda?
Yeah, so we'll be in Nashville December 8th through the 10th of this year. Also on the agenda is, in addition to truth in labeling, we'll have a cattle market forecast with TV Auctions, Corbett Wall, Brett Crosby, and others. We're also looking to do a consumer's perspective panel, and this one might pique some of your all's interest on Bitcoin and beef. What are the similarities? What are the differences? You'll have to come to Nashville to find out. So,
Lia, I was going to say, could you give us a taste? That is an interesting seminar topic. And I saw President Miller was tweeting about it earlier today. What prompted you folks to include that this year?
Yeah, it's an exciting new trend that's happening that we're seeing among a certain segment of consumers who are interested in decentralized systems, whether that's a decentralized food system, decentralized currency, ways that they can kind of, make it on their own with their own. And the idea that these consumers are out there really advocating for our product, purchasing it with Bitcoin, that's really interesting to us. We want to hear more from these consumers who are buying for our product in this unique new way. So we'll have a whole panel of folks, some ranchers who are in this, what's called the Beef Initiative. You can find more on our social media pages. Some consumers and some Bitcoin enthusiasts. So you'll have to come to the meeting to learn more. It should be an awesome time and an opportunity to network not only with these industry leaders, but with cattle producers across the country.
And Leah, while I've got you here, I've got to pick your brain a little bit. Farm bill conversations are ramping up across the country. Have you been having any of those dialogues with USCA members?
You must have heard the background noise here. I'm actually in the rotunda of the Russell Senate building right now. And so we are having those conversations. Yes, Farm Bill's right around the corner. What's going to be in it? Well, USCA is still nailing down their final Farm Bill priorities. You know, we're going to be talking disaster assistance, risk protection programs for livestock producers, beef checkoff program reform, and some other ideas here that are floating around. So we haven't finalized yet our specific priorities, but we do have these overarching goals that we're looking to include in any Farm Bill conversations.
All right. Well, Leah, if we've got listeners who want to have a voice in shaping those policies there at the U.S. Cattlemen's Association, tell us your website one more time and how can they get registered for that winter conference?
Yes, that's uscattlemen.org. And you can click on the banner on the homepage to take you to the meeting registration site.
Fantastic, folks. Check that out. We've been talking with Lia Biondo. She's an executive vice president at the U.S. Cattlemen's Association. Leah, thank you for highlighting that issue with cell-cultured meat. We appreciate your time today.